All right, it's 7:04. We can start late, but we can't start early. If you'll stand, we'll be led in prayer by County Attorney John T. Bobo. All right, if you'll join me in the pledge. All right, the meeting will now be opened by the Sheriff Austin Swing.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Bedford County Board of Commissioners is now in session. The Honorable Mayor Chad Graham is presiding.
Thank you. Be seated. Well, good evening. We got a good crowd here with us tonight, and so we'll start with roll call by County Clerk Donna Thomas.
Commissioner Anderson?
Here.
Commissioner Boutwell?
Here.
Commissioner Boyette?
Here.
Commissioner Brothers?
Here.
Commissioner Davis?
Here.
Commissioner Epperson?
Here.
Commissioner Farrer?
Here.
Commissioner Hooker?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Maddox?
Here.
Commissioner Neely?
Here.
Commissioner Pinson?
Here.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Adam Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Mark Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
Commissioner Vick?
Here.
Commissioner Yaki? 18 present, 0 absent.
All right. So the first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the May 12th Commission meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion is second. Any discussion or corrections? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And so now we're ready for public comment. Is there anyone in the audience tonight that would like to speak? All right. If you would come right up to the podium, there's a place for you to press and hold the button while you speak if you'll tell us who you are, and you have really basically 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chad.
All right.
I signed in out there earlier. I just want to talk to you about the senior property tax freeze. Think it's a good thing. Think we need to help our most vulnerable seniors. It's possibly not their fault they're put in the situation where they're at. They worked hard, provided for their families. The $43,700 income cap may not be where we need it to be, but it's a place to start. Going to help 700 people. Guarantee you, all of us know some of those 700 people, and some of those 700 people, and probably most of them, didn't live as comfortable a day today as we have. And I've been in a hot shop all day. But let's don't make this political, y'all. Let's help our constituents. A lot of vulnerable people out there, and they need help. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right. I'd like for you to officially tell us your name for the record.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Samuel Davis, Bell Buckle, Tennessee.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. All right. Yes, sir. If you come right up and do similar to him, but not exactly. If you'll tell us who you are to start with, and then you're free to speak.
Okay.
Let's see. Can you see if we can press the button a little better? There should be a green light that will come on. I just want to make sure everybody can hear you.
Basically, it was the same thing that he brought up, tax freeze. You got a lot of veterans in Bedford County, and they would certainly appreciate it. From what I understand, it takes 2 commissioners to bring it up to a vote. That's basically all I have. I just, hope that you all find it in your hearts to think about, like he was saying also, the elderly that are here in the county and the veterans that went out to fight the wars, and stand up for the nation. Thank you.
All right. Now, you're following in his footsteps. Tell me who you are.
Okay. My name is Russ Hubble, and I'm from Unionville.
All right. Thank you so much for your comments. It is on the agenda tonight. That is true. 2 commissioners can add something to the agenda, but it is one of the items that will be discussed tonight. Yes, ma'am. If you can come up. You want to try this by telling me who you are first? All right.
My name is Brianna Akers. I'm also here on behalf of the tax freeze for the elderly. They are on fixed incomes. They've worked their whole life to have these houses, and some plan for retirement. Some, unfortunately, don't always do that. Personally, I think there was a comment at one of the last meetings, $5. I personally don't mind paying an extra $5 or $20 to help keep people in their house. So hopefully y'all can see the same thing, because they are struggling with a lot of things, healthcare costs, medicine. There's a lot that adds up, and property taxes should not be one of them. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, am I missing anybody else? If you'll raise your hand or stand up or come. Yes, sir, if you come right up to the podium. Again, I'd ask you to tell us who you are, and then you can state your position.
I'm Dave Rogers. This is Grunt. I know there's a lot of talk about the senior property tax freeze. When the gentleman was here from the state, I had asked him about veterans in this area. And just to give you a little idea, 60% of veterans who live on 100% disability don't have any other income. I got my property tax assessment like a lot of people did, and my property tax is going to go up, and by the state of Tennessee, it's not going to cover that additional money. I'm going to have to come out of pocket. So I know you're talking about property tax freeze, and I know that the state doesn't have something aside for veterans, but I'm going to ask that you look at the veteran population here. There are about 250 veterans in Bedford County that have 100% disability, and a lot of them are not going to be able to afford the increase in the property taxes, and it might force some of them out of their homes in the near future. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, now let's do this again. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to come up and speak? This is certainly your time to speak. The rest of the commission will be interaction from the floor. So this is your opportunity. Anything? Okay, I believe we're past that point, so we're going to move on. Thank you guys for your comments and gals. Next item on the agenda is election of notaries for July of 2020.
Move to approve.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, presentations, we don't have one tonight. Next item is under resolution, so that'd be Resolution 2618. And this was a resolution to appropriate 2 nonprofit charitable organizations of Bedford County for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. And it was in your packet. Commissioner Linda Yaki.
I move to not approve this, both requests, because the deadline to submit the information has already passed, and the nonprofit budget hearings have already been held, and for the entities then to reapply for the 27-28 tax year, as others do.
Second.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second. We're open for further discussion or clarification. Okay, everybody understand that the motion was to deny it? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. We'll move on. Next, under Rules and Legislative, so this is what people were speaking on, the Senior Property Tax Freeze Program. Now, this was deferred 1 month in seeking fiscal note information from the Finance Department, which was sent back to this body. So,
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Hooker.
Yeah, I move that we adopt the resolution establishing a senior citizens tax freeze for qualifying senior citizens with an annual income level not exceeding $43,780 as presented.
Second.
Mr. Chair, I second.
Okay, so we got motion second. Now we're open for discussion. Commissioner John Boutwell.
Yes, let me read something I put together. It was reported on April the 29th of this year by the Nashville Banner in WSMB television in Nashville that Tennessee falls to last in nation per pupil spending for public schools. In other words, Tennessee is last in the nation. Tennessee has lagged its neighboring states. Mississippi and Alabama, for example, each spend about $2,000 more per pupil or per student, and they came in 45th and 43rd nationwide, respectively. And from the Tennessee Department of Education data, we learned that in fiscal year 2025, 97% of Tennessee school districts were funded better than Bedford. There were 4 school districts that were, 3 that were lower than Bedford County. So Bedford is at the bottom of Tennessee, and and Tennessee is at the bottom of the nation. Adjusted for inflation, Bedford appropriated less money in fiscal year 2025 for the day-to-day operation of schools than it did 10 years prior. Where is our outrage? Why do we continue to shrug our shoulders and walk away? How is our indifference affecting our children and our ability to attract good-paying jobs through required and educated workforce? Our community, which would be Bedford County and the city of Shelbyville, have not been concerned about education funding. Instead, the focus has been on items like a very expensive lawsuit to take money away from education and a new program, a vote-getting program in an election year that will cost the county well over $1 million, possibly millions of dollars over 10 years. So with that, I'm voting no for the motion on the floor.
Okay, now, are you just making a statement, or are you asking for an amendment? Okay, yeah, the motion on the floor was to approve it, and it was seconded, so just so we make sure we know where we are currently. All right, other comments? Commissioner Keith Davis.
At the last finance meeting, I asked a question, and I wasn't sure of the answer, and I still don't have the answer until I did a little research, and I wondered if this is implemented, what's it going to do to our school system if this is implemented, and what kind of impact it's going to have. So I went down the rabbit trail. I've got so many notes here. I've just been eating up the rabbit trail, but I got into the Tennessee Investment in Student Achievement, the TISA Act. And if you're not familiar with it, it's online. I've got it right here, and I'm pretty much going to read, not going to read all of it, but I want to hit a few high spots. I want to say, and I'm going to be publicly, that I am absolutely for our seniors. I love Granny. My mom is one, and my mother, by the way, is probably the only one up on this platform that qualifies for both of these. But my mother says, I don't want to be a hindrance on someone else to take care of me. That's the way she feels. Adopting a local property tax freeze does not change Bedford County State. Again, this is from TISA. Adoption of a local property tax freeze does not change Bedford County State calculated TISA funding requirements, but it risks creating a structural deficit that makes meeting those legal obligations much harder to the county commission over time. School funding is shared responsibility driven by student metrics and county's theatrical fiscal capacity, completely detached from total tax relief choices. Now, the TISA shifted Tennessee from a resource-based funding system to a student-based funding formula. Instead of the state funding a specific number of teaching slots or classrooms, dollars directly follow the individual student based on their unique educational needs. The formula is, number one is base funding. Same dollar amount for every single student. Weighted funding is extra funds for low income, rural, or unique learning needs. Direct funding is 100% state-funded programs like K-3 literacy. And the last one, outcomes funding, 100% state-funded bonuses for meeting achievement milestones. Now, here comes the mandate that concerned me. That's when I asked the question this evening, or at Finance, that I never did get. The mandate is TISA establishes a strict local contribution expectation. If the Bedford County Commission fails to fund this minimum requirement, local match in its annual budget, the state will withhold Bedford County TISA allocations, and the state comptroller will not approve the county's overall budget. It concerns me that this freeze also, it's been around, I think, since 2007, and we've only got 28% of the counties that are involved in this. And I don't know why, but that's all that's jumped on. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Maddox, did you want to speak?
Just a quick question of clarification. So it's my understanding that the budget, the school budget, would not be impacted. I mean, the school board sets the budget, correct?
the school board does put a budget forward, but the commission does have to approve it and fund it.
So I hate to put Commissioner Neely on the spot, but I know that she's extremely qualified in this area as well. But I believe we need to talk through this because I feel like this is an unnecessary roadblock, although I respect the opinion of the commissioners.
Commissioner Neely?
Well, okay. So in looking at this, don't misunderstand me. I'm concerned about education. I am all for public education and funding it. And I have said in those meetings, yes, there are deficits in funding, but not only here, it's everywhere. And I hate to go down this road, but one of the reasons why we struggle so here is a population that has put a tremendous amount of burden on us that we might not have under other circumstances, and we have to realize that as we move forward. I'm not slamming anything or anybody, but it's the truth. And as we look at this moving forward, there's a lot of seniors out there who feel like once their children are out of school, they shouldn't have to pay anything that goes toward education, but we're still making them pay it every year because a portion of their property tax goes to fund education here in Bedford County. So they're still paying. When there was that huge tax increase in 22 or whenever it was, those same seniors had to come up with that money. And a lot of that money, it all went towards salary. We all know that it did, those of you who were on the board at that time and those of us who weren't. And a lot of those salaries raised way beyond what the median salary is here in Bedford County, and certainly more than what seniors are drawing on Social Security who have been retired for nearly 20 years. Now, I appreciate wanting to fund schools. I'm concerned about that and want to continue to do that. But in some research that I did, and these are numbers, and I'm just going to throw them out. I looked back at audited numbers as far as property tax income year over year that's being made available, and this is through growth periods. In 2021 over 1920, just the property tax increase money that came in was nearly $1.5 million. In 22 over 21, it was right at $1 million. In the year of the tax raise, that increase went in audited numbers in property tax $5.9 million. Now, it dropped off in 24 over 23 to $100,000. And then in 25 over 24, the increase was $831,000. And then we do not have the audited and amended numbers yet for these last 2 years, but it appears there could potentially be $1.9 million in those. We're talking about $115,000. And if we want to fuss about funding education, we all sat here, some did, some of us did not vote for it, for a $10.4 million bundle deal for stuff that some of us who sat on courthouse and property never even had the opportunity to look at and talk about, and were told when we questioned it that, well, we've had it in here and we've always wanted to do it and we need to do it now. But we never had an opportunity. We're elected now to look at needs, not what somebody wanted 10 years ago, but we ate it. And we've done a whole lot of things along the way. Now, I appreciate those who don't want to support doing this, but at $115,000, and it's going to help seniors, I don't see what the problem is when we have spent so much money in other areas. To me, it is absolutely ridiculous that we continue to debate this thing and act like we're spending $50 million instead of $115,000. And the money is here. There's a line item in the budget that was set aside 2 years ago that's got $240-something thousand that was for salaries and salary adjustments. There's nearly 3 years of it right there. With these with the assessments that we've got, and all of the things that are going on, and we know at some point there'll be some type of tax increase. I'm having a hard time figuring out why we want to sit here some and say, oh, I really support this, but we just can't because it's education. It's this, and it's always going to be something. But who do we put at the top of the list? We ask these taxpayers to pay every daggum thing we come up with, and then we have an avenue where we could potentially help some of them, and we act like we're asking for the moon and the stars. Now, I'm a little passionate about this because I know a lot of these people, and you all do too, and if you don't know them, maybe you need to learn them. If you don't, maybe you need to go meet some of them. Because we have people here, if you're not from here, you may not know this. People worked in pencil mills, the chicken factory, and other places. They didn't have access to pensions. And when they retired 20 years ago, they're still paying today on those small Social Security checks the same gas, the same food, the same housing insurance, because when their taxes go up, their homeowners go up. And we've all prided, we've heard, oh, we don't know of anybody that's lost their house to a tax sale. You know why? I know widow and widowers who have moved people into their homes to try to pay the bills. And go look around. They're not doing upkeep on their homes like they once did. They don't have the money. So while I appreciate education and I will try to fund it every way I can, and I want everybody to have a slice of the pie, I don't see any other way around this tonight but for us to please, for God's sake, help some individuals in this county who are not as blessed and fortunate as we are.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak before you vote? Your motion on the floor is to approve it. Commissioner Scott Johnson.
I would say the majority of commissioners are for this. It's more of a timing issue than anything. And I want to ask, if it's okay with the commission, I'd like to ask our finance director a couple of questions, if he'll come up to the well. And I do appreciate my fellow veterans coming up and speaking tonight. Mr. Daniels, and this comes from a finance perspective, I guess. I know this hadn't been approved, so I think I know the answer to my first question. Has this been included in the budget for this year?
It has not, because the tax freeze hadn't been passed.
Okay, all right. So if we do pass it and we don't want to take money from somewhere else, are we going to have to do a tax increase to do this?
I would say yes, because our fund balance wouldn't cover it.
The fund balance would not cover it. Okay, okay, all right. That's all I have. That's all I have.
Look, I'm going to go right here, and then we'll give you a chance to go back. Commissioner Hooker.
Yeah, Robert, don't go away yet. All right, I got a question, because that was a very cleverly worded thing. If you don't want to take it from other places, it needs a tax increase. Well, that's our problem. Our priorities are out of whack. We need to take it from other places. We're throwing money at all these different organizations. We're throwing money at all these different projects. There's money in this budget. There always is. But the problem is our priorities can be out of whack. So it was very creative, but I think that was very misleading. It doesn't require a tax increase if we're able to move the money from other locations. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, the commission sets the tax rate. I think you want to go to her? Okay, Commissioner Neely.
This wasn't misleading at all. It was a simple question.
Okay, hold up. Commissioner Neely, yeah, go ahead.
Well, as I have stated, if you go to the budget to 58,900 under other salaries, there's $347,666 that has been sitting there for 2, 3, 4 years that has not been used. I think we can do an amendment to the budget and move that money over and do it.
Commissioner Boutwell.
Well, true, we could move the money over, and we probably could find the money this year. I don't disagree with that. But once the program is set forth, it continues on. So as time goes along, the cost of the program increases. As you have more tax increases down the way, it's more money. I think Robert gave us all in our packets a sheet that explains how the costs over time accumulate. So we're not talking about a simple thing today. I mean, if it was just what we're talking about spending today, I'd be all for it. But what we're talking about is what the cost is going to be going forward. And he's got on this sheet $2.4 million in 10 years. And I'm looking at schools, 10 years, we're giving schools less money than we were 10 years ago than when you adjust for inflation. And here we're adding a $2.4 million in additional cost, and who knows where that lawsuit's going to go that may cost us $2 million. So all of a sudden, you're making decisions now about the future, and you don't have all the pieces of information to make those decisions. that we're not funding schools. We are at the bottom of this state, and the state is at the bottom of this nation. At some point, we got to start caring about our children. At some point, we got to care about getting some jobs that require that people are able to take because we have an educated workforce. At some point, we've got to start dealing with reality instead of emotion.
All right, Commissioner Maddox.
Mr. Chairman, I think that, you know, I wrote out this speech, but I'm just going to speak directly from my heart. I commend Commissioner Neely for everything that she said, and she articulated it extremely well. I think right now we're also at the bottom of the barrel with wanting to help out 720 seniors that are very deserving. Just doing some quick research while we're talking, it doesn't seem that this is going to have a large impact on our school budget at all. And I just want to remind everybody, too, that it's not like these folks, even though I personally, I'll go on the record and say I wish we could just take their property taxes away, period. Period. But this is the best we can do because this was a state legislative law that was put into place. But it's not like these folks are going to end up not paying any taxes whatsoever. They're still going to pay their taxes at the frozen amount. So we're not going to lose that revenue, so to speak. But let me give you just a little bit of data. So our property tax revenue is at $32.7 million. If we were to increase that just 10%, that would be 35.975, right? The shortfall, if we calculate in the seniors and the tax freeze, we would be quote unquote short $63,000 in revenue. If you did the math on 20%, the shortfall is about $314,000. But to Commissioner Neely's point earlier, the cost of this is $115,000. Now, I don't want to go point fingers. I think that Commissioner Neely did a great job, again, articulating some of the deficiencies I also agree with her on. But y'all, we just shouldn't make this political. This is just the right thing to do. I mean, I know firsthand what it's like to be in a house with a grandmother that's pinching her pennies. I watched that. I saw it firsthand. We all may have also, but I'm just saying, let's get our priorities straight. I don't understand this. I don't. I mean, as I look around this room, I don't understand it. It's not emotion. It's just what we have to do. It's like taking care of your family. I mean, these people took care of us all these years. They took care of this county. They built this county.
Call for question.
All right. So the question's been called for. Okay with that? He called for the question, so we're ready to vote. Unless you want to continue to debate. Would you like to?
Mark said he had a question and wanted to state something
well,
really quick.
Hang on, we got the question. So if you want to continue to debate, we got to vote on that. Is that right? Parliamentarian? You'll have to vote to continue if you call for the question. We're trying to make sure we're doing Robert's rules here. You called for the question, right? Which, right, I got that part from you. All right. And so would y'all like to continue to debate, or are you ready to vote? Okay, so we're ready to vote. All right, so the motion on the floor is to approve the tax freeze, adopt the tax freeze at the $43,000. I'm not sure exactly what the number was, but she's got it wrote down. If you want to tell us the number again, that's okay. Okay, just somebody, so we may. 43,780, tax freeze. Everybody understand what they're voting for? Yes would be to adopt it, and then it'll have to be laid into the budget. No would be to not adopt it at this time. Everybody understand what you're voting for? Yeah.
Why would it have to be in the budget? We don't have a tax increase yet. They wouldn't need the employees.
Well, then you don't need it now, or what?
We
what-
need the
what-
tax freeze, but we don't need the employees. We're not having a tax increase.
Okay, now, I could be wrong on this, but my understanding is when you adopt the tax freeze, you have to go through the process whether you increase taxes or not. That's the whole issue. This is to implement it, to adopt it, and to put the program in place. It's not actually to manage it.
Mr. Chair,
These people
Mr.
have
Chair,
to.
point of order.
Sure.
Yeah, we have a call to question, not debate.
Yeah, well, your commissioner is the one asking. Yeah, so do you want to debate or do you want to answer? She asked for clarification, so I'm happy for you to vote. Everybody understand what you're voting for? So if you vote yes, it's adopted. You vote no, it's not. Okay, when your name's called, vote for or against.
Commissioner Yaki,
No.
Commissioner Vick,
Nope.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
I'm going to pass.
Commissioner Adam Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
No.
Commissioner Pinson, Commissioner Neely,
Yes.
Commissioner Maddox,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
No.
Commissioner Hooker,
Yes.
Commissioner Fair, Commissioner Epperson,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Brothers,
No.
Commissioner Boyette,
No.
Commissioner Boutwell,
No.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
nine ayes, 8 noes, 1 pass.
All right, so the motion failed. Next item on the agenda is proclamation for the 250th celebration of the time capsule ceremony.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion is second. We're open for discussion. You should have seen it in your packet. This is to do with the time capsule and the 250th anniversary. No questions, comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now we're ready to move on to public safety, which had nothing, courthouse and property, nothing to come before us. We're ready now for Financial Management Committee and the Board of Education Budget Amendment number 4.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second was in your packet. Open for discussion. You okay with the roll? All in favor vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. County Budget Amendment number 4.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Comments, questions there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and through solid waste, they had scrap, so it's like surplus, but it has to be declared.
Motion to approve.
Okay, any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now we're on to other business. Is there any other business?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
Okay, for what purpose?
For purposes to accept the advice of Attorney Bill Reeder on a response to a specific lawsuit filed against Bedford County.
Okay, is there agreement by the commission to suspend the rules? We'll need a second to that.
Second.
Okay, so we got motion second to suspend the rules, understanding what the topic's going to be. Okay, so all in favor to suspend the rules?
Aye.
All right, is there anybody opposed? Just raise your hand so I can get you on there. Okay, all right, so we've suspended the rules. Now, is there anything else needs to be said, or?
No, Mr. Chairman, we're just asking that the motion is to accept the advice of Attorney Bill Reeder on a response to a specific lawsuit that's been filed against Bedford County.
Second.
Okay, so we got motion and second on that. Comments or discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Raise your hand so I can get you. Okay, all right, now, do that, correct? Okay, yeah. All right, so now we're on to, I don't think there's any other business, if you'd have to suspend the, okay. All right, so now we're ready for announcements. We can start with, do you want to speak regarding the 250th? Commissioner Pinson.
Okay. The submission date for anyone requesting to put anything in the time capsule is June 22. That date is rolling. If you have not received an application, out on the main floor is the application submission form 4. And we inviting everyone in Bedford County, churches, anyone that would like to place something in the time capsule.
And the ceremony is July,
The July the 3rd from 4 to 5 in conjunction with Stars and Stripes Shelbyville Lights event. It will be from 4 to 5. And all of the mayors will be present to bury the capsule at that time with other celebrations.
all right, that sounds good. And then the 4th of July is the fireworks at HV Griffin that we participate
That
with the
is
city on.
correct.
All right. And then I need to remind everybody to please, the commissioners to come up and sign the actual proclamation tonight so that we can get that ready for the capsule. Budget books should have been on your desk for you tonight. If you didn't get one, see me about it. Finance Committee meets on the 23rd. We was going to have a special called budget study session again right after that at 5 o'clock on the 23rd. So after the Finance Committee, but at 5. And then we also need to announce that June the 30th would be the special called commission meeting to approve budgets. And at 6:30 that same night, July the 30th, at 6:30, the Financial Management Committee will need to have a special call meeting here as well, just to do the final budget amendments for cleanup for the budget to be closed out. Now, what else am I missing? And Juneteenth is that is one of the holidays that's observed, so that's the 19th, so that's coming right up on a Friday. So we'll be
That
observing
is
that
the
as well.
Freedom Walk. The actual celebration is at Griffin Park on the 20th, that Saturday.
Okay, but the office observes the 19th as Juneteenth. Sorry, I appreciate the clarification. Okay, what other announcements? What? And the office is closed on the 3rd of July for observance of the 4th of July, obviously. Okay. Is there anything else to come before us before we adjourn? Okay, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.